Well, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is delivering his second State of the Nation address in Cape Town ahead of national elections due by May. He came to power a year ago following the resignation of former President Jacob Zuma, who held the job for nearly a decade. And these are live pictures of that address from Ramaphosa. He has promised to tackle corruption and spur Africa's second largest economy. But a year later, growth is weak and unemployment remains high at more than 27%. The World Bank expects South Africa's GDP to expand by 1.3% this year, which would end the recession that began in the second half of last year. But it'd still make South Africa one of the continent's worst performing economies.
We resolve to advance the values of our Constitution and to once again place at the center of our national agenda the needs of the poor, the unemployed, the marginalized, and the dispossessed.
Well, let's get more now from Thabi Leoka. She's an independent economist in Johannesburg. Welcome back to the program, Thabi. So, an important State of the Nation address for Ramaphosa being an election year. I'm wondering, do you think he's managed to sell his government's achievements so far?
So he is still speaking. I think that he has a very tough job. He's obviously being very aware of the promises that he has previously made, and South Africans have become very impatient about the empty promises that the ANC has had over the years. So he has a very difficult task, given that he's a relatively new president, of turning things around. The economy hasn't done well. He's trying to attract investors. He's also trying to ensure that those who have been implicated in corruption, we have these commissions, and these commissions will come up with results that the public wants. But at the same time, the commissions are also implicating members of his party. So I think he's juggling a lot right now, and he has to prove to the South African people that he is the president that should be elected in elections in May.
Tell us more about Ramaphosa's economic agenda. Do you think he has what it takes to deliver on his promises to boost growth, boost employment?
I think, it's a very difficult question, because there's Ramaphosa, the individual, and also Ramaphosa, the president of the ANC. And I think that Ramaphosa, the individual, given his background, given that he has a very good understanding of what needs to be done in South Africa, he may want to do certain things, but will the party support him in turning the economy around? Things like land expropriation without compensation, which is something that the ANC has been pushing. And I believe that he hasn't been strong in his speech about it. He's been very investor friendly, talking about wanting to attract investment and tilting more to business and being too close to business, which is something that he's been criticized for. But at the same time, this is something that he needs in order to stimulate the economy. He mentioned things like, the education, the need to turn around the education system and ensure that South Africans get the best education system. But again, does he have the right people in place to do this? Because he has to choose ministers from his own party, and some of those ministers have not been very good. Some of them are implicated in corruption, and it's there's a huge problem right now in terms of his party. It's been accused of being factionist. So there's certain people who are siding with him, but a lot are criticizing him within.
We are seeing growing challenges to the ANC's dominance in South Africa. How would you rate the party's and Ramaphosa's success at these upcoming elections?
I think that he will be successful. The ANC is a very big party, very influential party, a very historical party. People will vote for it for historical reasons. Many people will vote for Cyril Ramaphosa because South Africa is very interesting in that when it was President Zuma, former President Zuma's turn, everyone said, no, we're not voting for Zuma, we're voting for the ANC. And then now with President Ramaphosa, you're hearing people say, actually, no, we don't like the ANC because of what it's done. So we're voting for Cyril Ramaphosa, and yet Cyril is the president of the party.
Interesting. Thabi Leoka, we will have to leave it there, but thank you again for your time.